Welcome back to Bloodlust, day number 2. We're about to go into the losers finals between Dumpster Tier Superstars and Gale Force Esports. My name is Unctious, and with me is Solid Jake, the founder of Arcane 8. And I wanted to invite him to take a moment and talk a little bit about Bloodlust, what inspired it, and Arcane 8, the new production studio that he is going to be running.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a wild ride. Bloodlust has been a project that I wanted to execute for a long time. And I think the reason why I never jumped was, how do we fund this? How do we make this happen? How do we make it worthwhile? I don't want to run an event that's super small. But I got back from Burbank, the Heroes Global Circuit qualifier. I was feeling good about just the crazy state of NA. And I said, you know what? Let's just do this right after PAX. We started the crowdfunding on the podcast Dunk and I run every week called Town Hall Heroes. And in the first 24 hours, the community donated over $2,000. Within a week, Ting was on board, and we had raised over $4,000. And now we're sitting at something like 11,000 plus. Arcane 8, on the other hand, it's been my goal for, I don't know, 3 years probably, ever since I left Major League Gaming. A lot of people don't know I used to be a producer at Major League Gaming. I worked in Manhattan. I did a lot of stuff with them. And then when I left, my whole mission became to create basically the home story cup of North America. Now, we're still in our infancy. This is really our first ground project. I think, our camera, look, like this camera it's not there yet, right? There's still a lot of things.
What are you trying to say about our camera?
It looks amazing. And there's still a lot of things to iron out, but to make this, like a real project, it's cool. It feels good to fly everyone out here. Everyone seems to be having a genuinely good time. The Peppers getting to dunk, and it's definitely like my other mission is I come from the fighting game community. You'll notice the commentary and the atmosphere is very different from your average professional broadcast. But this is what I grew up around. This is what I grew up loving. This is what I wanted to replicate. I brought in a crew of guys that I thought fit that. And, I think it's a lot of fun myself.
Dude, I'm having a great time. And I know Dunk is. You saw him sweating. He was so excited about this tournament. Did you see him last match? How you feeling? You're getting all red. It just seemed like you were ready for it.
I was absolutely destroyed by that Pepper. And I have been remade a different person in the image of my one true Pepper master. I will never make the mistake of disrespecting the Pepper again.
That was awesome. That was like probably one of my favorite parts of the entire tournament. But we're going to go ahead and get this draft started. Next up, like I mentioned, we have Dumpster Tier Superstars and Gale Force Esports. This is the losers finals. That means whoever wins this match, which is a best of 3, will go on to the grand finals, a best of 5. Unfortunately for them, though, they will be down 1 game to start. With that, we can get pretty much right into the draft. It seems like the teams are mostly ready.
Yeah, they're almost there. Once they're ready up, we'll get hopped on in here.
There we go.
Bam. So Brexit holdout. We're back in there. The Braxis for the second time of this tournament. It was actually DTS that played this before. Now DTS, they have shown the All Iraq twice, both times in Towers of Doom. They have shown Braxis holdout twice. But I'm actually quite impressed to see this lit through by DTS after seeing how well Gale Force played this map in the showdown.
That's what surprised me when I first saw this on the draft screen. Braxis Holdout is our newest map. It's very interesting. The 2-beacon format across the map, but the map overall is small, leads to some very interesting situations, and I feel like it is very far from being a solved map. Nobody really looks like they know exactly what's going on, but GFE looks so good in that showdown. I would be scared to take them to this map.
So one thing that we started to notice, you talk about 2-lane maps. The dynamic of the way that rotations work, the dynamic of everything changes drastically. And we saw a lot of global presence prioritized between GFE. Between whether it was Brightwing or Falstad. So I really enjoy the fact that Falstad was picked up. I mean, KO was saying Falstad isn't necessarily like that #1 mage anymore. He's a different hero right now. But he can still fly up, put that instant pressure on the top lane or bottom lane, wherever he wants to be, and make the shift happen mid-game.
Plus the prioritization on Zagara by Gale Force demanded essentially the Thrall response in order to deal with that potential solo lane pressure. And I think that was actually something that made a lot of room in the draft for Gale Force because they got to pick up this Muradin in their 2-3 slot, which is a little bit uncommon as the first pick. That hero has been so influential throughout the day and throughout the games. So Muradin is just the solid tank right now.
I would almost expect a Brightwing here just because of the way that Akaface approaches this map, responding to that presence, being able to get the snap phase shift forward. But they are giving it a ton of thought. Typically, we think of this team as grabbing Vala in this tournament like quite early. They really like Vala for fan. But, Ariel.
Ariel, on this map especially, I think Ariel has a lot of potential. In that 4v4, she seems to be one of the best healers, if not the best, right behind that Brightwing. And we also see the medic prioritized here. So suddenly a lot of supports in this draft. We saw 2 bans on supports, which will limit Dumpster Tier Superstars options.
If they steal Tassadar, they force it to the lone Ariel. And Tassadar with another support wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Now, DTS isn't really known for running that, but I'm curious if that's what they're looking for, considering the Brightwing denial that we see and so on. So Rhaegar will be hovered right now for DTS. Kona loves the hero. What do you think the optimal warrior is? Is it just flat ETC because he's left, or could you see someone like Johanna being good, or even Rexar, who has seen some nice results here?
ETC would be a solid warrior pickup for Dumpster Tier. We have seen Stray play that ETC very well. I don't know about Johanna on this map just because it seems like Johanna really excels on those wave clear maps, and while Brax's holdout is not solved, still, I think you're going to end up in 4v4s most of the time, and you typically don't have trouble with wave clear in that situation. So I don't think they needed that Johanna as wave clear.
Yeah, it's Stray, though.
That's true. I mean, he does prefer to play on that hero, and it will leave their last pick open because right now they have a good solo laner in Thrall or Falstad, whichever one they prefer, and they're going to just need one more damage dealer to round out their 4-man, which they get to decide after Gale Force takes their 2 picks here.
Okay, well, Gale Force is going to get that Vala very likely for Fan. The last pick, I'm trying to think of who it would be for. On the flex, Udall. What hero will Udall be playing?
Exactly. I mean, we have seen Gale Force run the Tassadar a lot over the past few days, and it is available in this last pick slot. I wonder if they're just worried that maybe they don't have enough damage. If they pick that hero up, then
Yeah.
they're also a little flimsy. They don't only have the Murder on the front line, and that can be problematic in some scenarios. The Thrall, we have seen Thralls do insane work. Tomster, earlier in the day, on that Thrall, bodied Vala back-to-back games.
It's
got
true.
insane pickoffs with the Sunder, put so much pressure on, and that historically is one of Thrall's best matchups. So it is a little concerning here to see GFE running this Vala and not certain what their other pick is.
Bonus pool runs out. They lock in Karazim. We were talking about the potential of Tassadar, but they will actually go for double support. Now, this leads me to believe that it will actually be Michael Udall playing potentially the Zagara. The Ariel could end up being Crowan. We've seen Crowan rock the DPS style with Ariel, where you go for more of the damage. He did actually that at PAX West, I believe. And Karazim for Akaface. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm trying to recall the last time we saw Akaface play Karazim, but I don't even know if he played. He definitely hasn't played any games at this event, or I don't think he even played any at the last regional at PAX West. So that is definitely something which I think North American teams overall are not prepared for. Karazim is just so uncommon in this region.
And we got to talk about the change they made to the resistance. Like, he no longer can have that mitigation for the stuns coming his way because, well, the patch has changed that. So it's more just damage reduction rather than stun reduction.
Absolutely, and we will see that potentially come into play for Karazim, but Li Ming will be the last pick for Dumpster Tier Superstars. That's crazy, too, getting a Li Ming in the last pick slot?
Yeah, Jake, what do you think?
Okay. Li Ming in the last pick slot is definitely odd. I mean, we mentioned this before at PAX West. She was the only hero with a 100% pick ban rate. And she seems pretty good overall for this map, but she doesn't have that same kind of effectiveness of poking for the altars and stalling. She's just a strong hero in general. I don't know.
Dunk Train, who do you think is going to take this game?
Going into this game, I think Gale Force will be able to take the game, but their composition makes me a little bit nervous, so I'm going to hedge my bet a bit. Dumpster 2 Superstars definitely has a chance if Goku plays out of his mind on Thrall.
All right, let's go ahead and hear what our casters think. Take it away, Zoya and KO.
I couldn't be more excited about this game, guys. This is going to be a fun match. Starting off with a really fun map, let's go ahead and introduce our two teams here on the left-hand side of the map in the blue trunks. It's going to be the Dumpster Tier Superstars. Goku on Thrall, Iacona on Rhaegar, Faye on
You've had a few names for them today.
I don't know what to call them. Li Ming, Srey on the Joanna, and Prismaticism on the Falstad.
And over on the right-hand side, the red team here on Braxis Holdout, it's going to be Gale Force Esports. B-Kid on Murden, Crowan on the Zagara, Akaface on Karazim, Michael Udall playing the Oriole, and Fan rounding it out there on Vala.
It's really cool comps coming out from these guys. I'm really excited to see how the Karazim Ariel comp's going to play out. You know, it's an interesting comp on a map that people are still trying to figure out, KO.
You know, I can't help but be a little bit fearful for the Goku Thrall, which sometimes is a little bit more shaky, sometimes more consistent.
Sometimes.
We'll have to see how he brings it to the table today. And it's going to need to be on point because to beat this double support comp, they're really going to rely on these clutch engages and just explosive team fights, getting those kills before all that double heal can start ramping up in the fights, because they're certainly not going to win any trade wars against a Vala and a double support.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely the sustained war win goes to GFE. We do have the two top laners, Thrall and Zagara, doing what they do best up there. Smash is getting pretty low down here. Stray, of course, trying to position himself between him and the opponent so they can, you know, try and have a little bit more difficulty getting to him. But so far, it's you know, going to be a pretty slow game until those altars or those points spawn.
You know, Zori, I can't help but think about the fact that they have Zagara on this map, just adding more to the Zerg swarm. I mean,
Yeah,
at this point,
right.
you might as well throw Kerrigan with the Ultralisk in there too and double the size of the Zerg pool, even at 100 stacks.
We'll have to see how disgusting that 200 Zerg army is going to look when it spawns, KO. But for now, we'll have to see how these teams want to get the edge in. I'm curious as to how aggressive the four-man for the Dumpster Tier Superstars is going to be versus GFE. They have to all commit on the same target if they're going to be able to take someone down. And I don't think they'll ever be able to kill B-Kid unless he's really out of position with that Karazim and with the, of course, Ariel.
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult here, and Srey can't afford to play too passively either on these. Like I was saying, you know, he needs to be able to enable his team to win these trades by moving in, getting the positioning there. Faye hitting a nice orb to start things off. As these these beacons are spawning, it's going to be the battle of the four-man here. Goku up at top, taking the initiative there to cap that one. But on the bottom side, it's GFE that's going to be controlling the 4-versus-4 beacon.
We'll see here which team will be able to be the first to take one of the beacons. It'll just come down to if they can get a pick. And right now, GFE's playing really solid with their positioning. They're not really allowing much to get through. And Crowan will be able to sneak in, at least, no, he won't be able to. Thrall does end up pushing him off, so Goku able to force him back there. But they're going to keep maintaining this bottom one, having the advantage in this four-man. You know, if a point's going to get capped, it's probably going to be top. That's going to come down to a rotation from GFE picking off Thrall.
I've got to say, I think Thrall has the upper hand right now in that top lane matchup, because when you're fighting over the beacon, the problem is you have to check so many bushes, and of course creep helps a lot with that, but Thrall has the tools to deal with that as well. So you're consistently taking the damage from Chain Lightning, and then when you want to move in to get that beacon back in that 1-versus-1, you have to risk getting checked with the Feral Spirit plus the Wind Fury strikes, which completely devastates Zagara in that duel.
We'll see here if that can end up happening. Thrall's holding it for a very long time. B-Kid getting a little bit aggressive here, tries to get a pick on Prismaticism, but not going to be able to. Looks like Iacona is starting one of the Merc camps. Iron Skin was popped by Srey.
I like this move to go try to get these Merc camps. They're going to get it just in time. B-Kid scouts it out, but doesn't decide to Dwarf Toss in there. And having these extra camps pressuring down into the lanes could be very useful here. You see the positioning getting a little bit awkward here for GFE, but Faye unable to really connect much damage there. See those two Fire Bats, though, still very healthy as they're going to start marching down this bottom lane. Things still looking pretty even up in the top lane, so it's really all about how this trade goes in bot.
They're doing a good job so far of cleaning up the pressure, as well as holding that lane pretty safely. It looks like Srey is going to be trying to get the cap here, and Thrall is holding top, so if they can get this, but it does look like B-Kid's enough to force Srey back. I mean, it's just so hard. Without Thrall, they're not going to be able to burst anyone down to this double support. So once there's like any contention at all, they're making the right move and just back up.
You know, I've got to say that Merc camp that they took, the two Fire Bats, didn't really get much value. Honestly, they didn't really do anything with the opportunity window that those camps granted them. And now, this is probably the slowest I think we've ever seen Braxis Holdout be played. I mean, no beacon score for either team yet. But that also speaks to the fact that both of these teams playing on a very similar level, not giving up anything. But Sray gets ribboned into the wall there. The return damage from Faye, trying to get some hope down onto that back line. Michael Udall actually
nice
getting
chunky.
chunked out there. Got to be careful when you're on Oriel.
Akaface
Stepping
and
up.
Michael Udall both have the well up, though, so they were able to tap, not forcing them back quite yet. We'll have to see if they can force DKID off at this point. Sray taking the front of the damage right now, getting him to half HP. But again, it is that double support trying to keep him alive here. Thrall still duking out with Zagara in the top lane. DKID about half HP. Sray getting a little bit lower here. And when the longer the fight goes, it's going to go in favor of GFE. So they need to make something happen. But Faye is getting low on mana. And like we've been talking about this weekend with the Falstead nerfs, it's going to be harder and harder for him to burst someone down.
Now, looking up here at the top lane, you see Goku is starting to struggle. He's very low on mana here. Prismaticism flies up for a gank, but it's a little bit too late there as they're only able to tag Crone with a bit of damage from the hammering. And you see up there for Goku, he's really struggling because he's lost all of that ammo on the front wall. The Infest is really starting to kick in for Zagara to help accentuate that push, and they just wasted the fly up from Falstad there, which hurts as well. Goku has returned to base, Falstad holding top. Meanwhile, at bottom, see this 3 versus 4.
While the fly up top did not get any value, I don't know if I would necessarily say it was wasted. I think that is the only play they could make at the time. They were not going to win the bottom. If they were able to get the pick on Zagara, that was the only thing they could have done to alleviate that. And of course, as you said, Goku low on mana, low on health. He needed to be like relieved in that top lane to back. So while they didn't get the kill, at least it was the only option I think they had. They couldn't just keep sitting here because they were getting pushing in top and they were getting pushing in bottom.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's just more of a great job by Zagara there to have the creep in position to get her that speed so she can get out without being punished by the Zagara. I think Goku going in a little bit early kind of telegraphed the aggression too. Now Fan taking the lightning rod damage. Look at that huge heal coming out from a full stack of hope. Just topping off Fan, no problem whatsoever. Another set of fire bats. There's another fly up from Prismat. Oh, and he's just bribing. Oh, this is pretty cool. He's gotten some good value out of that thus far in the game. And of course, every time he bribes, he's also getting those wingman stacks.
He's going to push up there too.
Rod.
So they're going to have the double push up there. I don't know if that's the best idea, but I don't think the Falstad Thrall is going to outpush this bottom lane down here. Without the Falstad here, this allows GFE to try and get as much damage onto his support as possible. They're actually doing a lot of damage with those Hellions, though.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they get those structures up there, get that little experience lead, and then they can come back to help defend bottom as well in time to not lose this fort, hopefully. And I think Falstad here, as his fly should be off of cooldown very soon, be ready to do that. Now, I'm surprised that on the side of GFE, they are making a little bit more use of that globe on the bottom, which is a nice sustained tool down there to help you push. But they are getting good damage on the fort. Fort is already half health. They can back out here, reposition, wait for the next wave, and then re-push in.
Well, let's see here as both these teams are getting closer to those heroics. Okay, that's when we're trying to see like when these playmaking abilities happen. Now, we've been kind of talking about Zagara a lot this weekend. It's about a 50-50 split, it seems, between Nidastorm and Maw, but I would have to assume on a two-man lane map like this, it's going to be Maw.
Yeah, I think Maw is definitely the more powerful choice on this map, especially considering they need some peel to help with DKID. Having to use Avatar here, the things are starting to ramp up at bottom. This battle is starting to get heated as Beacon wants to keep it going, jumping in, but that might have been a little bit of a mistake.
Man, he's getting low, and if Falstad can get the kill, they still don't have level 10. So that was I could see what Beacon was thinking there. They had a very small window, but that doesn't look like the team was on the same page. And of course, now we have the level 10 heroics for both of these teams here. And it's going to be pretty standard across the board. Stray getting very low. There is that Iron Skid and the Ancestral. Nice stun going down onto Vala, but the ult from Oriel going to keep her alive. Icona has to kite back. And Faye and Kona are getting very low, as well as Stray. They've used most of their heroics. They still have Mighty Gust, but they have to give this up.
Yeah, having blown a lot there and having to retreat, this definitely hurts. Now they can rotate a few up to help pressure Goku off of the top as well. And maybe finally start getting a little bit of progress on their beacon. But you see the experience extremely even in this game and very even in terms of the ult trades as well. Both teams trying to get a little bit of merc pressure on the map. I'm sure Falstad's going to be driving one of these camps very shortly here. But the battle is starting to heat up again. Nice job by the mages there on the side of DTS there to chunk out everybody, but that mage damage gets healed up so quickly in those cooldowns, they have to wait again. It just seems like it keeps getting mitigated every time they try and trade. I want to point out as well that Li Ming here...
It was Nidus.
Oh yeah, Nidus there as well, but
Interesting.
Li Ming with the Triumvirate, I feel like Faye has been getting a ton of value hitting these orbs really
Oh,
nicely.
so GFE has both the beacons right now, so they're starting to rack up the percentage, and it does not look like Thrall's going to be able to force them out, especially with the pressure that the Nidus Swarm is applying. Falstad did just fly up there, so he's going to be able to cap it, but at the same time, there is that fight breaking out. Stray has to use Blessed Shield to disengage, and Stray has to be extremely mindful about his positioning the rest of this game because of that 7-sided strike. If he gets isolated in that, with the burst that can come out from Vala, he could die very quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's going to be something that Stray has to watch out for. And you see that Raven constantly getting out Seeker missiles on bottom lane. I love that new ability for the Mercs.
Oh, the beacon's getting so charged for GFE, but there's a collapse, and they do end up killing Zagara up there.
They needed that.
Yeah, this is going to be able to at least stall this for now. So
So
it's still a pretty big percentage advantage right now for GFE.
you remember, too, that the way this map works, it's not like BOE, for example, where as long as you finish it, you get all the credit.
Yeah,
they
both
still
teams
have
get
that
credit,
76% secured for GFE, and that's a big thing to have. So every little percentage that you get, even if you don't complete it all the way, you still get the benefit of that Zerg. And
Falstad coming in from a flank here. Will he get the Gust? He does hit Beacon, Occupace, and Michael Udall. Stray goes in for the Condemn, but he's already so low, and Faye's low on mana as well. I don't know if there was just like a good, call for who's good on mana right now, because even if that Gus was just a little bit better, Faye had at most enough for 1, maybe 2 more combos. That was not a good engage here. Prismatic System and Goku going for the kill on Crow, and he doesn't have Sunder up. He's last
my
hit.
gosh!
Is he going to get away? Oh my god!
Wow, unbelievable that he actually got out of that. And Thrall did not have Sunder up there, so he wasn't able to secure with that. Fan, though, trying to finish this one out on Stray. Stray might not be as lucky as Michael Udall up there in top. That's a nice kill for them, and that's going to help them secure this last 20% to finish off this Zerg Swarm. They've still got to deal with Goku up here at the top, though, who's still very healthy, and now Sunray
this
just
should
coming
close
back
it
up.
out. Yeah, this is going to be enough. They're going to hold both points. I don't see them being able to pressure anyone off without the Joanna up. And, of course, with the 4 seconds left on the Mighty Ghost. B-Kid's already backing it up. There it is. It's going to be 54% versus the 100% of Gale Force Esports as they're about to hit level 13. But the dumpster tier superstars are not that far behind, KO.
And here we go, the Zerg Swarms charging out onto the map. Zerglings in front with those Hydras behind that do so much damage. You got to get to those Hydras. And it's hard with the mutas in your face. You see Fan getting super aggressive on the front end here, jumping a bunch of damage into Prismat with his little tiara there. Fan's dishing out a lot of damage, building up those hope stacks. And here goes the siege onto the keep wall at bottom.
We'll see how much damage they can do with this. Zagara still in the top, dealing with their opponents, and it's about to be cleared up. She's going to Nidus Swarm down here to help with the team. Ultra's being burned down pretty quickly here, but the front wall is already down. This could do some serious damage. They need to get a little bit more AoE damage onto those Guardians as well as those Hydras in the back, trying to poke it down. Sundering does come out, splitting the team. He's trying to get onto Fan, but the rest of the team wasn't ready for that. Nice knockback from Michael Udall as well, and they're maintaining this push here. Ult comes out to keep Fan alive. They still don't have Zagara with them, by the way. Zagara has just been pushing this entire time. They got the front wall on the bottom keep, as well as whatever damage Zagara has done in the top, almost killing that fort, it looks like. Prismatic does fly to go for the kill here. It looks like Crone will be just fine, though.
Yeah, Crone already has proved he's a pretty slippery Zagara this game. I think I would have liked to see a Gust actually under the keep down there as an engage, and then the Sunder coming out. But unfortunately, I don't think they were really on the same page. I think Goku just saw the opportunity to try and make something happen. But nonetheless, they do defend their keep down there, which is very, very important. However, a little bit of an advantage so far in GFE. They've been playing this map very well so far. Double support proving to be extremely effective. And basically, the way that DTS is going to come back in this game is just a great engage with a coordination of all of their ultimates.
Well, we do see that there's extension up here. Stray taking some damage, already at half HP. Going to try and deal with this mercenary camp, and this mercenary camp seems to hurt the Seeker missiles, man.
Let's see how much this actually does to Fan closing in there. It's going to get him anytime. Yeah, it's
a decent
maybe
chunk.
10%.
Yeah, decent chunk.
It's definitely significant.
Yeah.
But a lot of time what we're seeing in these fights from DTS, it's like there's like a Gust without a Sunder or a Sunder without a Gust, and there's always this mismatch where they're not completely on the same page, and it's oh so important for them to burst somebody down, get on somebody like Oriel, lock her down with all of these stuns before she can get the Crystal Aegis off, because that's such a key cooldown for them to break up the momentum of these fights. And you see that camp actually getting pretty good value as it just goes straight in from the flank of that fort.
We'll see here what damage they can do here. This might actually even up the experience to get a bit more, but top fort is, of course, going to go down. Master System, you need to be careful, bro. If you get hit by a Stormbolt, you could very easily die. Bottom fort looks like it's going to fall as well for GFE, and the beacons are just about to spawn. KO, Faye and Goku going to go ahead and try and back here as Stray finishes off that fort. The beacons are spawning right now.
Another interesting choice here, Faye on Li Ming taking Glass Cannon at 13. Which I can see being very effective, especially when you're against a low-threat comp like this with double support. She doesn't have to worry too much about anybody jumping into the backline and putting pressure on her, besides maybe Murden. Once he gets given the axe, that's going to be a little bit scary. But being that it is B-Kid on the Murden, it's probably going to be the stun.
Well, we'll see here what GFE plans to do once they have level 16. We saw there was a very small window where they had 10 versus 9. Actually, Blessed Shield comes out, a lot of damage. Nice pump up from Stray, and the 7-side strikes goes down, but not getting a lot of damage there. Akaface trying to kite back, gets the Radiant Dash, and there's great heals, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Michael Udall looks like he's going to fall as well. Can they get the kill onto Fan? No, he's going to be able to get away. The resets weren't enough to try and get that final kill, but that evened up the experience. That gives them 30-second window KO where 2 members are down on the end of GFE. Can they get the full beacon in this time?
Yeah, I think they can at least get 40-50% of it before any sort of threat comes out on the map. The timer actually goes quite quickly once you start getting the ticks of the beacon. Now, that fight we saw very nicely chained together CC there from the Sunder, and then the Blessed Shield not being stacked on top of it right after.
Kona
Meanwhile,
taking a lot of burst there. Just showing you the power of Vala. Once she hits level 16 with that beacon stun. Stray going to get combo or hit as well. They're trying to burst him down. He's going to kite back. Icona isn't going to be able to keep him alive. I think they should be able to get out of here. And I mean, what that did was stalled out the pressure on the beacons long enough. This is going to be 100% charge, KO. It might have looked like maybe Icona was not actually planning that. I don't know. But what that delay did was perfect for them.
It was. I mean, it was a beautiful bait there to keep their attention focused on trying to get kills in that fight. And that's a big mistake that you can't afford to make on this map. If you focus more on the kills and you ignore getting one of those beacons back, then this ends up happening, where even best case, they get the kill on Icona, but they have to defend 100% swarm, which is not worth it.
Either way, they're getting the 100% charge, which I'm sure they're happy with.
Exactly, and you see this giant swarm here pushing down, and it's like deja vu here, but
I don't think they'll be able to get the keep. Well, if they can get a pick, they might be able to get keep here. Ultrask are already falling down. They've got a lot of AoE clear with that Vala as the Hydras are starting to get cleaned up here. They do get the root over the wall onto Fan and some nice poke as well. Stray is looking for the Blessed Shield. You know he wants to go in here. They do have some time. There's the Blessed Shield. Where's the Sunder? A nice ult coming out from Michael Udall to prevent the damage on the Fan, and a big strafe turnaround. The Ancestral Healing does connect with Goku. The 7-side strike doing some decent damage there, but they're having to kite back, and a beautiful defense there coming out from GFE.
Yeah, Michael Udall absolutely clutch on the Crystal Aegis there. He predicted the Sunder being chained with the Blessed Shield. Look at how much damage Fan just took from that set of Seeker Missile procs. But yeah, that was really nicely done. We saw very good defenses from both teams thus far in the game, defending these two bottom keeps.
Oh, they're not done though, KO. They're chasing here, and Faye has used her teleport. Can B-Kid land the stun? They're looking for it. Iron Skin popped very early here, trying to kite this back. Orb not connecting with anyone there. Goku in an awful position, though, and he is going to die. That's 49 seconds without him. I think this should guarantee boss for GFE.
Yeah, that was one of those situations. It looked like Goku just basically wanted to let himself go down there instead of pulling all of those members of his team into the fray as well. And this boss falls very rapidly. It's pretty easy to burn this one down here. But with 4 members alive, this definitely still is a little risky. Gust has come back up, and Blessed Shield will be at their disposal. Li Ming about to have Disintegrate back up, and this boss is only at half health. Zoe, this is getting really ugly.
Yeah, this boss is shredding up GFE's front line. B-Kid already at half HP. The 7-side strike goes down. Stray taking a lot of damage. There's the Gust used to defend against the fight, but can they get the boss point back? Akaface getting really low. The double support's helping out a lot here. Stray looking like he wants to go in. They don't have Goku still, and that boss is going over to the GFE. It was a nice attempt 4 versus 5 from the Dumpsters tier superstars, I gotta say, but B-Kid still coming out for blood here. Gets the stun on the Stray, but he is still pretty healthy, and that's going to be a back out there for them. The boss is going to be pushing that top lane. And if they can get this Viking and Raven push here as well with it, that is some real damage.
Were it not for the double support comp there, I think it would have probably been a throw on that boss. But even though they took all of that damage in the poke, hold that thought, because that's a big Sunder splitting all 5 members. The Crystal Aegis coming out already. Michael Udall using that on himself to keep him alive. A lot of return damage onto Goku. B-Kid getting low. But now that they've pulled back a little bit, those double supports are going to sustain them up so much, they can turn right around and start sieging top lane and get these beacons.
Yeah, I think they're just going to opt for the beacons first. It looks like they're trying to collapse on the Falstad, actually, as they are heading towards that bottom side of the map. Prismatic's in an awful spot. Yeah, he's not getting out of here. Gets the flag, uses the gust. Okay, never mind.
That's the caster jinx right there.
Yeah.
No way he's getting out of this.
I mean, how often do you see Prismatism use a good gust anyway? So, not predicted.
So with that, about 35% of the beacons here being picked up so far for GFE. And now DTS trying to regain some composure on the map. They do have the stat advantage here. AT can the if that orb would have connected, that would have been a kill. But no such luck. The 7-side strike coming out, getting Stray very low. Goku trying to turn around, get that Sunder off.
Oh my
gosh. That Sunder for
gosh.
15 seconds. Crystal Aegis, the dream there, saving B-Kid from sure death. And now
this double support is like disgusting.
it's doing
on this
so
map.
much work.
This was a really good draft coming out from GFE. I gotta say, Dumpster Tier Superstars. I mean, they still have the experience lead. They've done a great job as Prismaticum is gonna fall down here, as well as Goku. If they get 100% with 2 members out, oh, nice turnaround kill onto Zagara. B-Kid versus Goku. Goku might actually be able to get out of there. Yeah.
All right,
So,
I see you, Goku. That was a nice turnaround.
Goku, quit being silly, Goku. Goku, no, go. Okay.
Oh, I go down.
I don't have words.
They
All
were
right.
so close.
Why? Why did you stay?
He definitely underestimated how many people were there. He's probably amped up, you know. I mean, he just got that awesome turn onto Zagara. He's just trying to make more. Oh, Faye connecting with the Seeker missiles. That is the power of the glass cannon build. And with another stun, can they get another kill?
7-sided, Michael Udall and Okaface are solo. Fan doesn't care though with a big dive in with that strafe, hitting 3 people
Oh
for
my
a lot
gosh.
of damage.
Oh.
And he gets Iacona. They're going to go for the chase. He gets the
Oh no,
frost
he's
shot.
got the frost
Faye
shot.
is so low. Does he have a vault forward? Can he get the kill? Oh my gosh, that combo hit so hard.
That was so close to being
That was
a full
the
wipe.
definition of a scrap fest. That was just pick after pick after pick.
Absolutely, but with that, GFE is going to take the rest of these shots unless Prismaticism has something
Oh,
to
he
say about it.
stops
He
bottom.
flew into the bottom one here, and it's going to be a 2 versus 2 here at the bottom lane. Fan sticking around. He's never backing. Okay,
yeah.
Zagara just Nidus in. Is he going to get there in time? I think Michael Udall might be in trouble here. He's going to... Is he going to actually get out? One more ray of hope to keep him
what
alive.
is happening?
And now Saray getting shredded down by Fan. Li Ming needs to connect with these cooldowns here. Crowan getting chunked, but it doesn't matter because Saray is going to be dead for a full minute.
All right, so that's going to be that should be it for GFE at this point. They should be able to finish out this 100%. There's no way they can contest without Rhaegar and Joanna.
Look at those Zergs preparing for their siege.
They're ready,
Looking
man.
Real scary down there. You see the last couple of Bane lanes coming in.
That's definitely the key, but will they be able to go core with this? They got 40 seconds left on Joanna, and they're going to have a Merc camp as well.
I think this might just be straight up game right now. I mean, the only thing that
They don't have
DTS
20 right
has,
now. They
yeah,
need to get
exactly.
20.
That slight 20 advantage gives them a little bit of a window where this defense is going to be a little bit tougher, but it is only 4 members. So this is where there's a lot of variables playing in, and it's very tricky to make the right shot calls and decisions. But with all of this and the camp pushing down bottom lane, it's going to be a tough defense, tough hold.
We do see that keep is melting so fast. KO, can they defend their core? Zagara does have the Night Swarm. She is walking back from the bottom of mid lane here, trying to get to this push. The last few Ultras are about to fall here. Sray is back up, though. A lot of damage going down onto Rhaegar, and Iacona gets deleted immediately. Goku a little slow on the Sunder. Fan taking a lot of damage, but they get the kill onto Thrall. He's going to try and kite back. Sray's very low, but I don't think it matters at this point. 5 versus 3 without your Orc boys. This could very well be game. There's a big avatar coming out from Beacon, and Gus is going to try and stall this out, but the core is already at 85% KO. I don't know if they can hold this.
Li Ming with so much shred, though, on all of that PvE, and the Zerg Swarm has pretty much been melted. That camp is still alive. Ribbon into the core to get the kill on Saray there, and that's going to be game. GFE is starting this out with a clean win there in the losers finals. That was beautifully played. And
That
the
was well
damage
played.
that would come out of nowhere from this double support comp was crazy.
That I would say that was. I am surprised at how well Dumpster Tier Superstars did versus that composition and that team. I would have expected with that comp, it being at GFE, that would be a little bit more one-sided.
feel like
but
we
they
just
held
watched-
their own. They held their own very well.
I feel like we just watched an extension of the Naventic series,
Yeah,
right? With
that was
GFE,
really well played.
Because those teams were so evenly matched. And DTS is coming out looking great today. We'll see what they have in store for us. But for now, let's let the analysis couch give us their thoughts about what just went on.
Oh my God, guys. Dumpster and Gale Force were absolutely trading punches that entire match. Jake, how did Gale Force edge out their win in the end?
Yeah, I was looking at that game. I was looking at the draft, and I didn't know what to expect in terms of the double support. Akaface really expected him to be the one that played the Karazim, but I said Crowin on Ariel. This is the first time I've seen Udall playing the Ariel because we're like, what hero is he going to pick, right? They don't have that melee to go in with Muradin, and my goodness, like he got some big plays. The detainment strikes, clutched at a bunch of moments. Left and right, we were seeing just the power of Crystal Aegis, an ability that when we first saw Ariel, we're like, man, this isn't going to be as good as things like Divine Shield and Ancestral, but it totally is.
And his reflexes were incredible on it. Like we saw like sub 20 health people getting saved by it. Dunk, did you expect Dumpster to hold their own as well as they did in that game?
I did not. I really did not expect Dumpster Tier to hold their own against Gale Force for that long and keep the game that close. And they were even ahead at times. So big props to them, and especially Prismaticism, who I think played out of his mind this game. In the early game, the casters were talking about the messed up rotation maybe on Falstad, but he made up for it the whole game. He was dropping bombs with that hammering. He was always on point. He hit multiple targets with it repeatedly. He had good flies. So really well done by Prismaticism, I have to say.
And I just want to double credit the synergy with Prisma and Faye. There were moments where that was they were against double support. To beat double support, you need burst. They were lining up some of those orbs with Triumvirate and just laying on the pain. And although they only picked up the 5 kills in the entire match, those were the kills that got them the momentum, got them the positioning, got them the objective, and made that game so good.
So what do you think Dumpster needs to do? What does DTS need to do going into game number 2 to ensure that they take this and don't get knocked out of the tournament? Now, remember, this prize pool, the entire prize pool goes to the top 2 teams. If you lose this, you're not in it.
If you lose here, you are knocked out. This is basically the match to go to the grand finals, even down a game, but Dumpster Tier, it's tough. They know they're against Gale Force. Gale Force, one of the favorites coming to the event. They look like they're actually playing on point right now. And as Dumpster Tier, maybe try and bring something weird out. We know they have worked really well with the Vikings, with the Cho'Gall, that sort of thing. Maybe that's their wheelhouse. That's what they should look for in order to actually win this match. Because, yeah, they stood toe-to-toe with Gale Force, but Gale Force won in the end. And I'm not sure it would go any differently if they had to run that back. So I think Gale Force is just feeling good here.
Yeah, I think either way, I think basically for the entirety of the game, it could have gone either way. That's how I felt anyway.
I don't know. I'm just super impressed to see how well DTS was playing on that map, right? I mean, Braxis holdout, brand new map. We knew Gale Force was going to be good. They just put a clinic on that map this Thursday, just dumpstering Denial 4 games in a row, and Denial finally took game number 5 in the 5-game series. And no, it's just really, really good understanding there, but we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for the next game, and this is, as you mentioned, things like Cho'Gall. This is where they usually try to go. Maybe they'll try to get first pick Ariel and go into the Cho'Gall. So that means that almost guaranteed there will be an Ariel ban in this series, knowing that threat's there, but they've already run Cho'Gall with Rhaegar, so they're more than willing to do it without the Ariel, and this is a map where Cho'Gall is truly obnoxious.
Do you think Gale Force is prepared to deal with some of the comps that we've been seeing come out of Dumpster? Because they've been mixing it up. They're not afraid of doing something non-standard. Do you think that Gale Force is prepared for that kind of a thing?
Absolutely. Gale Force is one of the teams who themselves uses a very wide variety of heroes. They have used very different strategies from game to game, between match to match. So I think of the teams in North America, of course, as a top team, you're very comfortable with a lot of different compositions being played against you, playing with them, but I think even above and beyond that, Gale Force is very good at dealing with the unordinary. So I think they'll be able to handle whatever Dumpster Tier Superstars throws at them.
Now, as Jake mentioned,